Hey, how's it going, everybody? Just wanted to show you a little thing I got here. Well, I needed a mower. I've got the Husqvarna over there that the hydrostat went out of, so I had it all tore apart. Was looking for a hydrostat for it. Well, this mower's pretty old. Hood's over there. It's pretty old. It's been beat up quite a bit, but it still runs really good. But the hydrostat went out of it. So I've been using that push mower there to mow all my stuff. I got 3 properties I mow because I'm too cheap to go out and buy a new mower. And well, looking at the auction one day, and this one was on there. There was 4 riding mowers on that auction, and I bid on this one. I put $12 on it, and somebody bid once, and then I put 20 bucks on it, and I ended up winning it. And the auction itself said that didn't know if it ran, didn't know anything about it, said you could turn it over by hand. Well, I got it. The main reason I bought it is I was going to have to adapt it a little bit, but the hydrostat in there fits inside there is the same on this one as it is that Husqvarna. Because really most of these from this era were made by MTD. They're all somewhat interchangeable on a lot of the stuff, at least that I've found. I'd have to change a few things, little brackets and stuff, but for the most part the hydrostat was going to be the same. And I thought, well, before I do that, I'll go ahead and put a little time in this one just to see if it runs, you know. And I took the battery out of the other one, put some gas in it, and it fired up, and hydrostat worked great. So I was like, well, that's cool, you know. Well, then I tried to mow with it. Well, as soon as you fire it up, the mower would, the blades would engage just as soon, you know, they'd be engaged just as soon. You'd get about half a stripe mode, and it would end up throwing the belt. Well, I found out there's a lever right there. There's this lever right up here that moves back and forth when the blade gets engaged. Well, they had this bar that fits in there. They had this bar setting crammed in right here. Well, that was holding the idler pulley up here. That was holding the idler pulley tight. So I've seen that and I fixed that. Well, then they also, on this side, they had, I don't know how well you can see it here, right here, they had this belt running around the back side of this. And so it ate up the other belt. And so I routed it the right way, put that bar back where it was supposed to go over here, and fired it up, went to mow it, went to use it to mow, and this thing mows great. It runs good. Rides good, mows good. All the tires are good. They hold air. I mean, seat's got a little janky spot on it, but in reality, I gave like $21 after tax at the auction. It was like almost $22 I gave for this mower. The guard here was missing on this mower, so I robbed the one off the Husky and put it on here. And the only thing I had to do, I had to cut it a little bit for that wheel right there, because this offshoot was a fair amount bigger than what this mower's supposed to have, but it works just fine. So, and I spent $38 on a belt and about an hour rerouting that and figuring out that bar was in the wrong spot. So basically 60 bucks and I've got a perfectly good mower that everything works on. I still like my Kohler motor better, but there's nothing wrong with this one. It's a 19.5 horse twin cylinder Briggs. And it does make a little bit of difference to note that this was Craftsman before they got bought out and went to overseas building. This was still when they were made over here. Not that that means a whole lot anymore, but so there's that. I'm just gonna throw that out there, that sometimes if you're willing to spend just a few minutes on something, it can work out for you. And then this one, with the hydrostat being off of it, I thought, you know, I was gonna make my son a drift trike. It does still run good, so I could still use the blades. But I've got an old four-wheeler that I thought about putting the rear end underneath of it and making a deal where I could mount the four-wheeler motor over here for like a drive motor and just have some kind of goofy redneck setup. But we'll see how it goes. Because right now my son's 5 foot tall now, and all he's got is this little motorcycle that's like getting way too small for him. And of course, if you go in here, my garage is a complete wreck right now. I'm closing up the pool for the winter. I got the filter pot over there. I just got to get this put away. I got a hope chest I got to paint for my daughter. I got a jointer here, which I got it at an auction for $60, and everything works on it, and it works excellent. So I'm running out of room. I got to redo some stuff in here. Got my table saw, which has a bunch of stuff stacked on it right now. I got it for $30 at the auction. It works great. Got my DeWalt miter saw. But later I'll trying to make a video. I'm going to take that miter saw and where these shelves are at, which currently has my planer and different sanders and stuff, bowling pins, there's some walnut logs up there, and my wife's Olds 350 engine parts that's waiting for me to put back together, sprayer, just random stuff. I don't have very good organization in here, and I'm getting enough stuff in here I need to work on that. So like right now, that dresser back there, that's my toolbox, because I don't do a ton of mechanic work anymore, so I didn't really need a regular toolbox. Well, I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to accumulate enough tools. I need a toolbox now. But there's some projects in situ. There's the old 72 Cutlass back there covered up in a tarp. We're getting it painted, so don't worry about I ain't too worried about the paint. The interior's all redone. That's why it's got a tarp on it, just to make sure that nothing sneaks in. There's my wall of walnut. There's a shelving unit that ended up being a scrap throw-all, which I need to redo because that just ain't working for me. And then here's the rear end out of that four-wheeler. The frame busted, and it's busted in multiple spots. It ain't worth fixing. But I kept the rear end. It's got disc brake and everything. I could weld me up a frame to hook that to the back of that Husqvarna. And then over here somewhere, yeah, back there's the engine off of that four-wheeler, and I've still got the wiring harness and all that stuff. But just find some projects that you want to work on, and go from there. But if you don't mind subscribing, liking the video, I'd appreciate it. I'm gonna try to make some videos as I'm straightening up this garage and trying to get it organized. I took a weekend shift job at my job, so now I have time through the week that I can start doing some stuff. So I need to do some work on the garage. So and while I'm panning around, if there's any of these tools you'd like to see some more videos on, just leave it in the comments. And I do ask that you can leave comments. I don't really mind anybody. I want you to leave comments. Just do me a favor, and my wife and my son and them are going to see these comments also, so I would ask that nothing is profane or anything like that. I mean, if your opinion on something's different than mine, that's perfectly fine. You can put that down there. I don't have a problem with that. Just try to do it in a intellectual, non profanity, non-insult way. I think that, language can be used positively or negatively, and it just depends on which one you want to use. So thanks for watching. If you don't mind liking and subscribing, I would appreciate it. Thank you.